Today on Sporting Top 10, we'll be getting on the top 10 college sports rivalries. But first, before the list, we have an honorable mention. Georgetown versus Syracuse for basketball. I put Georgetown versus Syracuse as an honorable mention because it was a great matchup when both teams were in the Big East. It was arguably the best rivalry in the Big East with Jim Boeheim and John Thompson coaching. It was great. And also, they had great alumni. For Georgetown, they had Allen Iverson, point guard, and two great centers, Alonzo Mourning and Patrick Ewing. And for Syracuse, they had the better forwards, as they had Carmelo Anthony and Dave Bing back in the day. And on to the list. Number 10, we have Army versus Navy. Now, Army versus Navy is one of the most glorious battles in all of college football, as it symbolizes our armed forces who will go on to do greater things in the armed forces. And the stats between this rivalry, Army has 49 wins against Navy. They have 7 ties between one another. Navy has 59 wins, and they had the longest winning streak of 14 in a row. So the all-time record is Navy in favor, 49, check that, 59 and 49 and 7. At number 9, we have Florida versus Florida State for football and baseball. Now for football, Florida versus Florida State is called the Sunshine Showdown. It is a battle for superiority in the state of Florida. And during the Sunshine Showdown, Florida has won 34 games. They have tied 2 times. Each team has been ranked inside the top 10 during the Sunshine Showdown between the years 1990 and 2000. Florida State has won 25 games. And on to baseball. Now I put baseball in here because Florida is one of the thriving regions in the United States for baseball. And Florida just won the 2017 College World Series. They are a 14-time SEC champion. Well, Florida State, although never winning the College World Series, have been the runner-up 3 times, and they are a 7-time ACC champion. At number 8, we have Arizona versus Arizona State for football and baseball. Now, genuinely, the fans of these two sides don't like each other, as they are some of the best in-state rivals in the country. And the stats between Arizona versus Arizona State football, Arizona has 40 wins. They both have a tie against each other, and Arizona has been to 20 bowl games. Well, Arizona State has the edge in this, as they've won 49 times, and they have been to 29 bowl games. And the stats between Arizona versus Arizona State for baseball, Arizona has won 6 Pac-12 conference titles. They have won 4 College World Series titles, and notable alumni include Trevor Hoffman, once the all-time leading saves leader for Major League Baseball. And Arizona State has 21 Pac-12 conference titles, 5 College World Series, and notable alumni include all-time leading home runs leader Barry Bonds. At number 7, we have Harvard versus Yale. One of the more known rivalries in the classroom and on the football field, as Harvard in this rivalry has 59 wins against Yale, and Yale has 66 wins against Harvard. Yale has the edge. But Harvard has the edge in presidents, as they have 8 U.S. presidents that have went there, and only 5 have went to Yale. They also have 8 ties on the football field. And number 6 is Louisville versus Kentucky for basketball. The stats between Louisville versus Kentucky, Louisville has 16 wins versus Kentucky. Notable alumni include Darrell Griffith and Montrezl Harrell. And Louisville has 3 national titles, while Kentucky has the edge with 34 wins versus Louisville and better notable alumni. Anthony Davis for the New Orleans Pelicans, DeMarcus Cousins for the New Orleans Pelicans, John Wall from the Washington Wizards, Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns, and Karl Anthony Towns, otherwise known as Cat, from the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Kentucky has 4 national titles, edging Louisville on that. And next we have at 5, USC versus UCLA for football, basketball, and baseball. Now USC and UCLA battle not for only superiority of a state, but superiority of the city of Los Angeles. And the stats for USC, UCLA for football, USC has 48 wins versus UCLA. They have 7 ties against one another. They won won one time 76-0 in the year 1929, and the most ever first-round draft picks in the NFL with 80. UCLA has 31 wins against USC, and they have the longest winning streak in the series at 8. And on to basketball. Stats between USC and UCLA basketball. For USC, they have 109 wins versus UCLA. Notable alumni include DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, Taj Gibson, Cliff Robinson, and Paul Westphal. And for UCLA, they edged them out in wins for this, as they have 140 wins versus USC. Notable alumni include Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton, Reggie Miller, also Russell Westbrook. I didn't put him on here, but Russell Westbrook from UCLA, and Lonzo Ball. And for baseball, we have USC having 261 wins against UCLA. Notable alumni include Mark McGwire, Ian Kinsler, and Tom Seaver. And UCLA gets beat out by USC in this category too, as they have 137 wins versus USC. Notable alumni, though, include Jackie Robinson, the first black man in Major League Baseball, Trevor Bauer from the Cleveland Indians, pitcher, Chase Utley, and Garrett Cole. At number 4, we have Notre Dame versus USC for football. Stats between these two. Notre Dame has 44 wins against USC. They have 5 ties with one another. Notable alumni include, for Notre Dame, Golden Tate, Joe Theismann, and one of the best quarterbacks of all time, Joe Montana. And for USC, USC has 36 wins against ND. Notable alumni for USC, though, could be some of the best running backs of all time. O.J. Simpson, Marcus Allen, Reggie Bush. All of them are Heisman winners. At number 3, we have Ohio State versus Michigan. Now this rivalry has been rebooted with Jim Harbaugh now being the coach for Michigan and Urban Meyer being the coach for Ohio State. The stats between these two: Ohio State has 48 wins versus Michigan. They have 6 ties, but Ohio State has won 5 straight. And Michigan edges them out in wins though. They have 58 wins versus Ohio State, and Michigan one time won 86-0 in the year of 1902. At number 2, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Auburn Tigers for football. Now this rivalry is known as the Iron Bowl, as they play once a year, both in the SEC, and they both try to rule for superiority of the state of Alabama. The stats between Alabama versus Auburn. Alabama has won 45 times, they have tied once, they have a current win streak of 3. Alabama has won the most national titles at 15 in all of college football, where Auburn has won 35 times against Alabama and has won 3 national titles. And at number 1, we have Duke versus North Carolina for basketball. Now, Duke versus North Carolina is known as the Tobacco Road rivalry, and that's because they're located on the same road. They're only 7 miles apart, which makes this rivalry even more better. As Duke has 110 wins against North Carolina, won the most recent matchup last year, and notable alumni include Bobby Hurley, Christian Laettner, Grant Hill, Jaleel Okafor, Brandon Ingram, and Kyrie Irving. For North Carolina, they have 135 wins against Duke as they edged them out. They also had the longest winning streak in the series at 16 wins. Notable alumni include Vince Carter, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest of all time, James Worthy, and Rasheed Wallace. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Sporting Top 10.